October 23, 2023. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, Supreme Court reserves judgment on PDP presidential candidate application seeking to present fresh evidence. Appeal Court nullifies victory of Senate Minority Leader, orders rerun. Court okays suit seeking to sack new EFCC chairman. Stakeholders call on Governor Fubara to finish setting up his cabinet. TUC in River State raises concern over federal government's commitment to honor labor union agreement. On the foreign scene, Israeli soldiers carry out limited raids in Gaza. I am Ifechukwu Moyeli with the news. The Supreme Court this morning began hearing the appeal by the PDP, Labour Party and Allied People's Movement, APM, seeking the nullification of President Bola Tinubu's election. The panel of 7 justices is led by Justice Iyan Okoro. Others are Justice Helen Ogunwumiju, Justice Ibrahim Saulawa, Justice Adamu Jauro, Justice Tijani Abubakar, Justice Emmanuel Ajim, and Justice Lawal Garba. The Apex Court began with the motion by the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar seeking to bring fresh evidence to prove that President Tinubu submitted a forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. At the hearing, the counsel to Atiku Abubakar, Chris Uche, was the first to address the court on the Chicago State University result. According to him, the court has a duty to take a look at the certificate and reach a decision by avoiding the issue of technicality. In his argument, counsel to President Tinubu, Wole Olanipekun, says fresh evidence is not admissible at this point. Also, INEC lawyer Abubakar Mahmood asked the Supreme Court to dismiss Mr. Atiku's application seeking to tender Mr. Tinubu's academic record. Responding, the Supreme Court reserved judgment on the application of Mr. Abubakar to present fresh documents to support his appeal. In a related development, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has nullified the victory of the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Simon Mwakwon, who is representing Plateau North Senatorial District in the National Assembly. In a unanimous judgment, the 3-member panel led by Justice Daudu Williams held that the PDP did not validly nominate Senator Mwakwon. The court also ordered that the rerun for the Plateau North Senatorial seat should be conducted in 90 days. The Federal High Court in Abuja has allowed 2 separate suits seeking to sack the newly appointed chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Olanipekun Olukoyede. Both suits were brought before the court by legal practitioners Stanley Okawara and Maxwell Obara. While the first suit was lodged before the division of the court in Kano State, the second suit is pending before the Abuja division. Already, Justice Abdullahi Leman of the Kano court has fixed October 30th to hear a motion on notice seeking to restrain the EFCC chairman from exercising the powers and functions of the office pending the hearing and determination of the suit. Moving on now, former Archbishop John Cardinal Onayeko has accused INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu of not being honest in the conduct of the 2023 elections. The Cardinal said this in Port Harcourt over the weekend.
Refuse to be told that this is Nigeria, meaning this is a place where nothing works. We should refuse to agree that this is a country where certificates are forged and it is okay. We should refuse to accept a situation where elections are rigged and you are told to go to court. These things have consequence. Jesus says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free." Accept that they have a heavy trust deficit, and nothing wrong with admitting that things when it didn't go so well.
The cleric called on all those who deceived Nigerians during the last election to apologize to them.
When I hear Professor Mahmoud on television, even yesterday, telling us that everything went perfectly well in January, I shed tears. He knows he was not telling the truth. If we don't tell the truth, we will not move forward. I'm a religious person and I keep praying to God to forgive us and to show us the truth. Because if we tell the truth, this will move fast. Nigerians are wonderful. And I still hope that things will move fast. Whatever judges may decide, whatever courts may say, at the end of the day, the truth will make us free.
Stakeholders in Rivers State are asking Governor Siminalayi Fubara to urgently appoint commissioners into the state ministries that have been without one for months. Such ministries are Environment, Information and Communication, Budget and Economic Planning, Commerce and Industry, Agriculture, Land and Survey, Culture and Tourism, Local Government Affairs, Water Resources and Rural Development, Housing and others. Recall that the state government assigned portfolios to 14 commissioners in June and has since left other ministries without commissioners. In an interview with our correspondent, the APC spokesperson in the state, Darlington Wuju, said the delay in appointing more commissioners can be hinged on Governor Fubara's lack of vision for various sectors in the state.
The PDP in Rivers State had no clear core blueprint for the development of the state. Having a commissioner will not encumber his vision. The commissioner's duty is simply to interpret and carry out the visions of the governor in the particular ministry. You cannot learn on the job. You must have a vision for the various sectors in the state, and then when you get into office, you pick persons who are qualified to interpret your vision in each of the sectors. And so it speaks of lack of preparedness.
Also, the spokesperson of the Labour Party in the state, Gogo Wellen, described the inability of the current administration to form a complete cabinet as lack of readiness for governance.
The fact that up to this moment, the governor has not fully composed his cabinet shows that there may be another hand is controlling things in the state. Because if really the governor is in charge of the affairs of the state, then the entire nomination process for commissioners and all whatnot, special advisors and all that, should have been long concluded. They were sworn in May, and this is October, and we're still talking about nomination of commissioners. It shows that they are not ready for governance. Nothing much is happening to galvanize the people toward a certain policy direction or objective of the government.
Also, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Ken Nduku, tasked those appointed so far to sit up to their responsibilities.
Though vigilante expressed dismay over the removal of these generators.
When you take a look at what is happening in regards to flooding, a lot of communities are clamoring on where to lay their complaints to. And because of lack of commissioner in those ministries, there is no place to take their complaints to. There is need for those being appointed so far to sit up and do more. Because it looks as if nothing is happening. There is need for them to be given a free hand to function, so that people looking up to them will not assume they are not active. There is need to give them free hand for them to function in their ministry, so that when they fail, they will be held responsible and not governed.
In another development, local security outfit Diobo Vigilante is calling for more street lights in Rivers State to curb crime. The chairman of Diobo Vigilante, Amatari Biplade, made the call while criticizing the alleged removal of 2 generators powering the street lights of the newly constructed Ikoku flyover, Azikiwe and Ilabuchi.
Servicing the aforementioned area by the Ministry of Power, that criminals are now taking advantage of the darkness of the area, that more of this light is needed in the state. It scares criminals from their criminal activities. When these lights are on, criminals hardly commit crime in such areas, as their identity will be seen and known even from a far distance.
He further called on the State Ministry of Power to clarify the removal of the generators and fix the faulty streetlights in the state.
Though vigilantes use this medium to call on the Ministry of Power to see it as their sole responsibility to go around the state and fix the ones that are bad for sustainability instead of removing existing ones without proper communication to the people. That such communication breach has brought many rumors of negative accusations against the ministry on the removal of such generators and their whereabouts. That the light, when it is put on, beautify the states. The light itself is a security on its own.
The State Ministry of Power is expected to speak on this You should know that River State has seen a high crime rate this month, with about 3 people killed while driving in separate locations in one night. Still to come, TUC in River State raises concern over federal government's commitment to honor labor union agreement. Stay with us. Waste disposal practices, among others. Lagos State Commissioner for Environment Tokunbo Wahab made this known in a tweet today. He said the market was also sealed over failure to pay waste bills and gross environmental sanitation offenses. The Kaduna State Schools Quality Assurance Authority has shut down Al-Azhar Academy in Zaria after a JSS 3 student, Marwan Sambo, was allegedly flogged to death. The 90-year-old student reportedly died due to severe punishment given to him for being absent from school. Dr. Usman Abubakar, the Director General of Kaduna State School Quality Assurance Authority, yesterday said the investigation has begun and the school will remain closed until the inquiry is concluded in line with existing laws. In business, Chairman of the Trade Union Congress TUC in River State, Foster Onyefuru, has raised concerns over the federal government's commitment to honor the agreement reached with labor unions before it suspended the nationwide strike on the 2nd of October. Recall that labor union had on 2nd of October given a 30-day deadline for the implementation of an agreement reached with the federal government. The agreement was reached to prevent an indefinite nationwide strike. Speaking on Nigeria Info's Crossfire program, Mr. Onyefuru said the union are yet to see any action on the side of the federal government.
They have made promises in the past and they never kept it. The road leading to the refinery as we speak is impassable. So in terms of implementation of the items contained in the MOU, they mentioned that 35,000 wage award payment will commence and that it will take effect on 1st September. We are waiting for October salary to see whether that will be paid or not. They mentioned that the process to begin CNG implementation is in process. We haven't been invited by the federal government. We are still within the boundary of the 30 days extension. At the end of which Labour will reach a consensus on how to get federal government to do what they're supposed to do.
Mr. Onyefuru said if the government does not comply within the 30-day deadline, the union will take action. In entertainment, famous former Nigerian footballer Augustine Okocha, popularly known as JJ Okocha, and his wife Nkechi marked their 25th wedding anniversary in style. The couple marked their birthdays and anniversaries by renewing their vows in an intimate wedding ceremony on the shores of a beach in the Maldives. In sports, Google has celebrated Nigeria's iconic all-time leading goal scorer Rashidi Yekini with a special doodle on his 60th posthumous birthday.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Israel's military says it has continued more limited raids into Gaza to attack Hamas and find information about hostages being held. It comes as Israeli bombing of Gaza continues, with Hamas officials saying dozens of people were killed overnight. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says the situation in southern Gaza is so bad that some civilians are returning north after being told to flee south by Israel. More than 1,400 Israelis were killed when Hamas attacked communities near Gaza, shooting civilians dead in their homes, in the street, and at a music festival Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says more than 4,600 people have been killed since Israel began bombing the territory in response to the attack.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Now that's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment on the application of the PDP presidential candidate seeking to present fresh evidence. Appeal Court has nullified the victory of Senate Minority Leader and has ordered a rerun. A federal high court has allowed 2 suits seeking to sack the new EFCC chairman. Stakeholders have called on Governor Fubara to finish setting up his cabinet. TUC in Rivers State has raised concerns over federal government's commitment to honor agreement it's reached with organized labor. On the foreign scene, Israeli soldiers have carried out limited raids in Gaza. The news was edited by Martha Okere Nkem. You can see pictures and watch videos of news stories when you like us on Facebook and follow us on X at Nigeria Info PH. On Instagram, it's Nigeria Info PH. Nigeria Info FM_PH. For any eyewitness report and breaking news, text and send your WhatsApp pictures and videos to our news desk line on 0808-721-7215. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening and have a beautiful afternoon.